Ben Bostock is currently one of the few producers of organic free-range meat chickens in the country. A trip to the USA and France to look at those countries' well-developed industries inspired Ben to bring back his newfound processing knowledge and some French-designed chicken chalets.
I've had a passion for organic since a young age, living on this farm, and when I was working in the meat industry in Auckland, I saw an opportunity to do this. Best thing is that we're vertically integrated, so we start from planting the seed, harvesting, making the feed, growing the chickens, processing and packaging the chickens, and finally the distribution and marketing. So we really have a full chain. At the moment we're running around about 12,000 chickens, and that's on 7 hectares, and that's well within the organic standard. Local market, so niche organic stores, supermarkets, premium stores, and also restaurants. It's really good to see places like Hooker Lodge and Craigie Range cooking our chickens and 5-star chefs cooking our premium product. At this stage we just want to be able to meet the demand in New Zealand. We've been processing for 6 months and already we've got such huge demand that we're getting some more French chalets from France coming in to expand. Our hatchery are looking at a slow-growing organic meat bird from Europe, and this chicken is a coloured packed chicken, much slower growing and more natural. The sheds are developed in France and they're especially designed for organic free-range chicken farming, 120 square metres. There's curtains on either side which go up and down depending on the weather, and that's regularly checked by a manager. They're mobile and they move along on skids. They're powered by solar panels, and that saves having to reticulate copper through the ground and charges the 12-volt battery, which in turn runs the feeding system. The water's fed through the blue tanks on the back of the shed, and that's just a gravity feed onto the water system. They're called a half-moon chalet, and that's specially designed for best temperature retention, and it comes down low to protect from wind and the elements. We don't have antibiotics in our feed, so to combat things like parasites, we shift the chalets onto fresh ground, and this is to break the cycle of the parasite eggs, and this is common in organic farming. Every week we move a shed, and each shed gets moved every 10 weeks. In this shed here we've got the young chicks, and they are about 10 days old. And at the moment we're feeding them a starter feed, which is a pelletised, pressed and then crumbled feed, so it's easy for them to eat it. And then after 2 weeks they'll go on to a crumble, which we make back at the factory. These chicks come from the hatchery that we supply from in Auckland, and they come down on the Air New Zealand flights each week. These chicks are conventional chicken, but under the standard, over the 10 weeks we convert them to organic. To be certified organic, you can have no more than 1,500 chickens per any shed, no matter the shed size. So that's what really makes it different, is a low flock density, which means a much higher welfare. The ground that they're sitting on here is on soil, so it's using natural microbes, and we put untreated wood shavings, which we collect from the local mill, and they've been spread over the days of the chickens being reared, and at the end we collect that with the manure and compost it down, and then we later spread that down on the certified organic maize that we grow for the chickens. It's a whole circle of life. The land is certified organic. Also the feed that we grow is certified organic. Maize, barley, we use apple pumice, and a certain amount of fish meal. And the fish meal is to add a little bit more protein so we can avoid using the alternative, which is GMO soybeans, which are imported, which is the industry standard. This chick is going on 10 weeks old and it's coming up ready to take him to our processing plant. You can see he's quite healthy, he's got a healthy comb, he's got more than the normal hot feet, and this is because of an increased corn, and the yellow in the corn pigment goes into the feet. He's a cob breed. He's basically one of the only options in New Zealand for meat birds. Originally from America, he's a Cornish cross. We're a premium product, so we slow the growth rate down to improve the taste, and by doing that it also means that they can grow at a more natural rate and they can support their own body weight, and so much higher welfare than conventional. At the moment they're inside, it's blue sky day outside, they're not particularly fond on the light, but In the mornings, at night, they're vigorously outside. We're in our small-scale processing plant in Hastings. One of our main point of difference is that we use air chilling. We're the only people that do air chilling in New Zealand. And when I travelled to France, I saw that's what they use for their premium chickens, and it produces a much better chicken as it has no water that drips out of the chicken into the bag. We don't have to use soaker pads, and also we don't use chlorine, so we don't have chlorine residues in the chicken. Compliance is quite a big shock to start off with, and it's probably the same initial startup cost as any plant that starts. So that adds cost with our small volume, but we're working through that and working very well with NPI. This business is basically an extension of a large organic business which my father does, organic apples for the overseas market. So it works quite well having the land to put these chickens on, and the ethics and the idea. I think that we can improve systems and also wait for our lucerne trees to grow a little bit bigger, and I think that we can make this place look like magic.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.